my experience with meditation. So, for about 2 years now, I've been practicing meditation more or less daily, and my intention with this video is just share some of my insights. I hope that I can demystify meditation for a lot of you guys, because when I first started learning about meditation, I thought this was some extremely weird thing that monks were doing, and I had no idea that it could benefit me or how it would benefit me. But how I got started with meditation was simply that I started listening to the Tim Ferriss podcast when I got into personal development, and for all of you guys that don't know Tim Ferriss, he basically has this incredibly successful podcast. People like Oprah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and those type of incredibly successful people have been on his podcast. And one thing that he shared was that 80% of the people that was on his podcast had some type of mental practice, and most of them were performing meditation. So that's where I got really curious and started looking into it. And after I started practicing it for a while, I started working with one of my current coaches slash mentors, and he also wanted me to start meditating as a part of my morning routine. So then it was quite obvious to me that this was something that is likely worth my while. And as I got started doing meditation, I started very small. I did guided meditation for, I can't recall if it was 10 or 15 minutes per day, something easy like that. But I started noticing that my focus and attention span just started improving. I started feeling better. I started having more energy throughout the day. And just a side note was, as I did this, I was doing a lot of other changes. So all of those positive things that I shared doesn't necessarily have to be caused by meditation, but I know that meditation has the ability to improve our focus, and it has also been shown to reduce the age of our brain, which is quite incredible. And I'll make sure to link a study to that in the description. So, but back to my experience with meditation. So as I kept this up, I started increasing the amount that I meditated. So I started increasing the amount from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and these days sometimes I do an hour, sometimes I do 10 minutes. It's nothing that's set in stone, but I usually feel quite incredible after 1 hour of meditation, and it's very common that's actually the best hour of my day, because I just feel so whole and energetic afterwards. So it's also amazing because when we have all of this noise and anxiety inside of our heads, when we're meditating and actually sitting down and analyzing those thoughts, we realize that most of the things that we're thinking about are what's going to happen in the future or what happened yesterday. So we obviously can't really control these things, and it doesn't make a lot of sense worrying about them. So that's something that has been huge for me, and meditation has really reduced my anxiety in that sense, because I don't find myself worrying or second guessing myself as much anymore, because I know that when in the present moment, that's actually where we can make an impact. And if we're worrying about those things, we're not really doing our best to prevent them from happening or giving our best conditions. So that's some food for thought, and one of the insights I got from meditation. And I feel like one of the biggest parts is that it simply just has allowed me to reconnect with my attention span, because throughout my life I always had an incredible attention span, and I always liked to focus on one thing at a time. And as I started getting more addicted to my phone and social media, my attention span really started to suffer. So for example, when I was younger, I could read a book for 2 or 3 hours, no problem. And I think it was in sometimes this year, I was reading, and after I've been reading for 30 minutes, I was just struggling to focus on the words. And that's when I kind of realized just how bad I fucked up my attention span. So that is something that really frustrated me, and I've been taking multiple steps of action towards preventing that. limiting my social media usage, especially Twitter, because I feel Twitter was the one that really fucked up my attention span. So I kind of used meditation to reconnect with my attention span and actually building that up again. So that has been incredible. And yeah, it's been 2 years now, and meditation is an everyday practice of mine. It doesn't matter if I can get 5 minutes in or if I can get 1 hour in, I make sure to do it. And obviously there are days where I miss it, or there's some days where I justify that I don't need it, and on those days that I justify that I don't need it, I usually get reminded why I do it. So absolute game changer for me. And if I would give any advice to any of you that is starting to getting or would like to get into meditation, is that you start small. Maybe start with a guided meditation if you feel like it's any other practice is overwhelming. So it's really nice starting with the guided ones, I feel, because then you have some type of accountability and guide, so to speak. It's just not you sitting there alone with your thoughts. So I would keep that out for a couple of weeks or months, and then you could probably progress into doing your own type of meditation. Just trust your intuition and do what feels best for you. Take care.